What's up, world? It's your boy Jett Lee. It's Low Living Out a Dream, the movement that encourages people to find their dreams, their purpose, and their passion, and go and live that every single day. And you already know what this channel is about. It's about connecting with dreamers that's living out their dream. And today I have another dreamer here with me. It's funny how we met. One day we was both getting our car speakers worked on, and I saw my guy in the cut, and I said, you know what, I'm finna just go talk to him, because that's just the kind of person that I am. And so I was like, yo, my name Jett Miller. I got Low Living Out a Dream. I think it'd be a super dope if we connected, man. And ever since then, I've been rocking with my guy Chad, man. He's been doing so much in the city, man. He's not even from Birmingham. I'm gonna let him tell you where he's from and everything he got going on, but he's not even from Birmingham, but he's doing so much in the city. And man, I just thank you for stopping by, man.
No problem.
Coming on TV, Low TV here for me, man. So just real quick, man, just let the people know where you're from, let them know what you do in the city. Tell them how you living out your dream.
Yeah, for sure. So again, my name Chad. I'm from a small little town called Milledgeville, Georgia. In between Macon and Savannah, you know, people kind of say, oh, Savannah or Macon, but you know, I'm from the country. And came to Birmingham in 2014, 2015, went to UAB, just graduated with my degree in African American Studies and History. I minored in political science as well. And so like I was getting involved with like all types of activism, you know. When I was at UAB, you know, everybody know Birmingham has like a rich history of civil rights.
True.
So I felt like I was just kind of drawn to that as soon as I touched down here. And so, you know, at first I was a nursing major, if you could believe that. And I really wanted to work in like either the Alabama Black Belt or like, you know, underserved Black community.
Right.
And I took my first African American Studies class, man, and it was like, you know, the thing that I live by is everything that you do should be for the betterment of your people. And good. The very next year I met DeWanda Thompson, who everybody knows, that's the CEO of Woke Vote. She's the founder. And, you know, she was talking to me about concentrating all that activism inside of me on something specific. And, you know, voting, I mean, it was just easy for me to fall into that because, you know, with voter suppression that still happens today, right, and the historical connotations that it has, I mean, that was like, I felt like that was the perfect thing for me to hone in on. And so, like, when I think about load, and this is so perfect that we talked about this earlier, you know, when you living out a dream, it don't necessarily mean it's my dream. I feel like it's the dream of my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were people that fought for our right to vote. And so now, like, when I think about the people that lost their lives because of that, you know, I think they may be thinking to themselves, like, man, like, I'm so glad that their voice can be heard because mine wasn't. Right. So, I mean, that's just it for me, you know, community organizing and loading.
Wow. That's what's up, man. That is a lot, man. We need more young people that's expressing, you know, the importance of voting and importance of giving back to the community. So what's one thing in the civil rights movement that really, really caught your eye? It was like, you know what, I really want to be a part of something that's going to change the world and better my community.
For me, it was SNCC, which is the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. You know, a lot of time when we read about civil rights, you know, as a person like me, I used to look at it like, man, I don't like seeing, you know, my Black people getting sprayed by water hoses and beat and stuff. But what I learned from Kwame Ture, who's Stokely Carmichael, I learned that nonviolence was action in itself. Like, it took a lot of determination and it took a lot of discipline to be able to say, I'm gonna go into the belly of the beast. They're gonna call me all types of names. They're gonna do everything they can and want to me. Right. But I'm still gonna have the moral high ground. I'm gonna be the one that's above resorting to violence or stooping to their level. So for me, man, when I saw that, and then I looked at Woke Vote, and I saw that it wasn't about the Democratic Party. It wasn't about a candidate. It was about an agenda. And for me, that I fell head first into it, man. Like, and it was because of that. Them organizations like SNCC, seeing young people just like me that was like, I'm gonna go to a protest even though I could get arrested, right? Or I could lose scholarships. You know, I could be put in a dangerous situation, but they still did it. So for me, it was like, I have to.
Wow, that's deep. And I believe the kids in Birmingham at that time were so bold and so like confident and so driven to say we're going to get this purpose across. Like no matter if we have to go to jail for it, die for it,
right?
We bit by dogs for it,
Right.
like whatever it's going to take for us to get our rights. That's what we're going to do. And so me, I'm such like I literally, if you have never been to Birmingham, they have trails that in the civil rights marches, and movements. Like you can go read what was going on in that particular spot. And so I literally walked some of the trails just to read and see how far they had to walk,
of course,
and how long they had to walk.
It's crazy.
How hot it probably was when they was walking. Like, so I wanted to go on some trails to see what they was experiencing, man, and just reading that, like reading the signs that they had up was just so powerful, man.
Oh yeah.
And it really motivated and encouraged and inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing and pushing my people forward.
Right.
So another question, like what were some of your challenges that you had, going to college, like getting into college, being in college, finishing college? Like what are some of the trials that you had to go through and overcome to live your dreams?
Well, I know an internal struggle that I often have, and I still, I can't even say I overcame it completely, but as a young black man growing up, the people that we saw that had success and money, the success defined by capitalism, they were either athletes or rappers. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really see school as a route to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So I used to kind of be like, man, I'm going to go to school because it'll make my mama happy, and I do want to be somebody important, but I didn't really have a desire. But when I came to UAB and discovered African American studies and history, it was like I instantly knew, like, okay, this is what I got to be doing because, I'm such a different person. Like, I relate to a lot of the people, around here, like in the streets, like the everyday black dude. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like putting myself in that position would open up the doors for people to be like, I want to get involved in politics or voter suppression and things like that. So for me, it was just the lack of having a role model, man. I didn't really see people going to college and graduating like that. So that was tough for me. Like I didn't really. So when I did it myself, man, it was like, thank God. Like I can't believe I did it. Like what's next? So that's what I struggle with for real.
Wow, that's what's up. So UAB is not a HBU school.
No.
So how was it, studying African American studies in this non-black, like all black school? So how was that?
Yeah, so there's a process called negrescence or nigrescence, and it's this period that black people go through when they're discovering what it means to be black in America. And everybody goes through that at different times, but one of the common times for that is during college years, because you're learning about different struggles, you're meeting different people, so going to a PWI, man, and studying African American studies was difficult because I would go to a chemistry class after I just went to a black psychology class. So I got to completely rearrange my whole brain.
You were so enlightened, like you were so empowered. Now you got to go.
And it made me, I went through this like very angry phase where I would be in this class and we learned about, history, but American Western history. And I'm like, I don't, that ain't really what happened, or that ain't true, but I have to control those urges. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't be disruptive in class. Right. So I mean, it's difficult. But I will say, I gotta say that UAB has one of the best African American studies programs.
That's what's up
in the nation. So I mean, but it's definitely, man, it's that's crazy you asked that question because I mean it was tough, man. It's like people that study African American studies, we were so tight knit. And once you had to like venture away from that, you kind of felt like a rebel, like an outsider, like I'm an angry black dude in this class.
So that kind of leads to another question. So how is it for you growing up in America as a young black man?
Man, it's when the simple answer is tough. I did a campaign here in Birmingham. It was called West Side Rising.
Okay.
And we were going to the neighborhoods in West Birmingham, and we were asking people, like, if you could totally reimagine your community, what would it look like? And one of the most heartbreaking things to me was people couldn't really conceptualize what a better neighborhood looked like because they never seen one. Ooh. And so for me, man, that really embodied the what it's like to be black in America. I think, sometimes even as a black person, we kind of get detached from our brothers and sisters that have less privilege than we do. And so what happens was, for me, it made me realize, like, that's what being black in America is about. It's about, like, being in a situation that you know ain't necessarily fair, but we're going to make the best out of it. We're going to take lemons, we're going to make lemonade.
Exactly.
So when I drive through Smithfield or College Hill and I see people, you know, having community meetings, you know, and I see people having cookouts and still connecting the same way as black people always have, it's like, wow, bro, like, we some amazing people. Like, we can overcome anything.
Right.
So that's what it's like for me.
Yeah, and for me, and through my lens, man, I have, so early on, like earlier in life, like growing up, I was attracted to the civil rights. I was attracted to slavery. I was attracted to those things because I was like, that's where we really come from.
Right.
You know, and so for me growing up, man, like, I've been abused by the police. Like, I went through that. I actually got beat up by a police officer. Threw on the ground, handcuffed, cussed out, hit in my face a couple of times. Like, so I experienced that. And I experienced, like, seeing, you know, other races make more money or get a better position because of the color of their skin. And it's just kind of like, it's so many emotions that go through a black man, like, day to day. Like, we're supposed to be strong, we're supposed to be fearless, we're supposed to be bold, we're supposed to be a man of God, we're supposed to be, you know, and then at the same time, you go out here, you're trying to chase your dreams, and you're trying to live your dreams, and you keep bumping into obstacles. And it's like, you know, I didn't come from wealth. I didn't come from that generation passed down to me. I didn't come from, you know, a two-parent household, and I didn't come from a corporation that was given to me. Like, we didn't come from those things, so we're trying to build those things now, brick by brick. Exactly. We're trying to build those things and stop those cycles that's been going on in our family for so long. So
those
we're
generational
like,
curses.
We're cycle breakers. You know what I mean? Like, we're just, a black man is so much, man. And I like, we walk around with a target on our back because the white man, he know how powerful the black community, a black race really could be if we came together. So their whole agenda is to make sure we stay separated.
Of course.
Make sure we stay divided. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just so much as a black man. And for every successful black man that's watching and tuned in, like, keep doing your thing. Like, don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody tell you can't do it. Like, don't let the obstacles frustrate you. Like, don't let those things get in the way of living your dreams.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, just being black in America, man, it's a weight.
Yeah,
it's really a weight. And you have to daily, like, give that weight to God and say, God, I'm still going to go out here and chase my dreams. I'm going to give you this burden that I have just because I'm living in this country, but I have to continue to fight through it. And because our ancestors,
they did it. It was worse. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's
12
about.
times. We can't even imagine, like, the things that they went through. Like, you know, and now, so... But that is just a whole nother topic.
Oh yeah.
But so, okay, that's cool. So, like, living out your dream, right? So, what do you have in the future that you're working towards? Like, what is that thing that you're working towards in the future?
Man, I want to be a new age activist.
Okay.
I want people to look at me, they look at Chad and say, you know, like, bro, this is a normal guy just like me. Like, he listens to the same music I listen to. He goes to the club. He like to party. He like to have fun.
Right.
But he still is out here fighting for the betterment for black people. You know what I'm saying? And having that influence is something that I dream about. You know, so like when I think about the work and woke vote, like, that's why whenever DeWanna or D Reed call me to do something, like, I try to give it the best I can because I'm like, I want people to look at me and say, like, oh yeah, like, I'll follow him, like, because I want to be a leader. Like, I think I am a leader, and I think I got what it takes to do that. So that's my dream, man. Like, to have that type of power to, like, when I talk, people listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I dream about.
So are you trying to run for, like, any city council, or are you trying to be mayor?
I mean, possibly, but like as of right now, like I kind of like doing kind of more like behind the scenes.
Behind the
like
scenes,
I
okay.
like to be in the field. I like to like be with the people.
Okay.
You know, like one of my favorite things about Malcolm X, man, was that he wasn't trying to appease like the bourgeoisie Negroes. You know what I'm saying? He was like in the streets of Harlem, like
Right.
you know, with the cutthroats, with the gamblers, with the movers, with the shakers, with everybody, the real Black America. And that's how I kind of see myself, a new version of that. Like I'm talking to people that, you know, a Black politician might not talk to. That's what it's about for me.
I got you. So tell us a little bit more about what you do with Woke Vote and what's the whole mission of Woke Vote.
Yeah, so Woke Vote is about fighting voter suppression and getting Black people more involved in the political process. So one of the things that I do specifically is we try to encourage the youth, especially Black youth, to get out and vote and be a part of that political process.
Okay.
Because you know the big thing is voting is not like some bureaucratic task that you're supposed to do as a citizen. It ain't about that. It's like bare minimum activism. It's saying that as a Black person, whoever I want to be president or the mayor or the sheriff or the city council, like they gonna have to go through me. Like they gonna have to get my vote. They gonna have to appease me. So their agenda has to match up with mine. And that's what we try to get people to understand. Cause like when you live in a beautiful city like Birmingham, you know, this is a place where there's a Black mayor, there's a Black sheriff, the city councilmen and women are Black. So like that's something that I didn't really see growing up. Cause you know, I grew up in rural South Georgia. You know, it was more whites than it were Blacks. So usually, you know, we were an X factor when it came to elections, but usually who they wanted is who won. And so we try to get people to see, you know, with Woke Vote is like, we can be that X factor. We can be that voting block that say like, okay, if we want Joe Biden to be president, that's who's going to be the president because we got the X factor. So that's what it's all about, man. Like voter suppression and getting involved.
Okay. Yeah, that's good, man. Well, look, man, thank you for stopping by, man. Dropping
no
some
problem.
knowledge on us, man. Thank you for just, you know, coming through, man, talking about your dreams and your goals and everything that you have going on. And man, like I say, man, this is Low Living Out a Dream, where we connect with dreamers that's living out their dreams. So if you have a dream, a goal, a passion, a purpose that you should be doing and living out, go and do that every single day, man. And don't let nobody, anyone, or anything stop you in the way of giving or getting towards that. So it's your boy Jett Lee. Load up.